I'm now going to demonstrate exercise 8, package and deploy account XML to CSV, and exercise 9, explore package components and deployment actions. We're now going to do exercise 8, package and deploy account XML to CSV. To execute or to schedule a process to run at a specific interval, you must first package and deploy it. In this exercise, you will package and deploy your account XML to CSV process. You can create your package component one of two ways. One is in the Build tab by clicking the Create Package Component button. The other is from the Deploy menu, Package Components. You'll then click on the Create Package Component button and select the component that you want to package. In our case, it will be the account XML to CSV. We will click on the next Add Details button, and we will add a version for all, package notes for all, and we will not be clicking on the Sharing button because this is only used in master sub-account relationships. For the version for all, I have entered ADM for administration, -MAR for the month, 2020 for the year, -01, because this is the first time I am deploying this process. The package notes, they are optional, however, we request that you do enter them. We've entered in initial package, and we have not clicked on the sharing checkbox. Next, we'll click on the Create Package Component. Our package component is now created. It asks us if we would like to deploy it, so we'll click on the Deploy button. We need to select the environment that we want to deploy this in. So we're going to select the test environment. Once again, deployment notes are optional, however, we do request that you enter them, so we're entering in initial test deployment. We'll then click on the Select Versions button. This is so that we can make sure that we're going to the correct environment. We have our deployment nodes, and this is the one that we want to deploy. So we click on Review, which gives us a final opportunity to look at everything. So our environment is correct, our deployment notes are correct, and the version that we want to deploy is correct. So we click the Deploy button. It tells us that our deployment was successful, and will we like to view our deployments, and we do. We have now deployed our first package, our account XML, type process, package component, to our test environment. We now want to deploy the same process to the production environment. So we come over to Actions, and we select Deploy to Different Environment. There's only one environment left, which is production, so we'll choose that. We've entered deployment notes, initial, production, deployment. So now we'll click on the next button. Gives us our environment, which is production, our deployment notes, which is initial, production, deployment, and our version over here, which is ADM-March 2020-01 for our account XML to CSV. We're pleased with everything, so now we'll deploy it. As you can see, we have deployed this in both test and production. So now we want to make some changes to the process. We're going to go back to the Build tab, open up our process. We're going to go to the map, and we're going to make some changes. We want to unmap the state field, and we want to put a default value in it of PA. And we want the Create Date field, we want to unmap that. We are doing this so when we do a compare deployments in our next activity, there will be a difference between the two processes. So now we're going to save and close this. And we are going to click OK here and save and close. And now what we want to do is create a package, and we want to deploy that package. Since I am in the Build tab, I'm going to click on Create Package Component. I'm going to click on Add Details. This is going to be our second package, so we're going to call it ADM MAR 2020, and we're going -02. This is our second one. If we had done 01, we would have gotten an error message because this version has already been used. This value needs to be unique. We've updated the notes saying updated map, and we're not checking this button down here for sharing. So we'll click on the Create Component. It has created our package. It asks us if we want to deploy, and we're going to select yes. It asks us what environment. We're going to select test, and then we're going to use deployment notes of updated map. We'll now click on select versions. We're pleased with what we have. This is going into test. This is the deployment notes. We'll deploy it. We'll view our deployments, and our deployed versions are 02 in test environment and our 01 in the production environment. And they both have different deployment notes. This concludes exercise number 8, package and deploy the account XML to CSV.